And hello, good morning, good afternoon. So I want to talk about social media, some predictions and some updates because it's really important to know what's coming up and what's happening in social media because things just aren't the same as they were like even 6 months ago. So it's important to know, what's happening so that you can adjust for your business. So welcome, and if you're joining me live or on the replay, let me know where you're coming from and so I can shout out to you. Love to say hello. And if we haven't met before, my name is Dodd, and I'm here on my business page to inspire, educate, train, whatever I can so that you can leverage the power of social media to build your business online. So welcome. So today's topic is all about Facebook or social media strategies and including the Facebook. So it's really important to know this, so know where to concentrate your efforts and just to stay tuned on top of things so that things don't go awry. So, and it's kind of some new focuses. So it's really important, and this goes across all platforms, but with that, I want to emphasize too that it is important to master one platform before you start moving on to another, because if you spread yourself too thin, then it's not as effective. So right now, like for example, I'm concentrating on Facebook, and there's so many other social media platforms out there, and they all have different benefits and different types of audiences. Different age groups, are attracted to some social media platforms more than others. So concentrate on one, and then once that is, really proficient, then start moving into other ones. So just with that, but just some focuses across different platforms. Of course, the first one that's really important is visual and voice. So having the two together, like for example, in Messenger, if you're going to message someone, there is a feature there where you can use a voice message rather than typing. And it has so many advantages, is that you can hear the tone of voice and the emphasis, especially if maybe your message could easily be misinterpreted, the wrong way, then a voice will explain it much better. But going with that, you only have 1 minute. And so I know I start talking away, and then I realize, oh, it's ended, and I have to start a new one, and I can't remember where it was that I was cut off. So be aware that it's only 1 minute, and so if it's longer than that, you need to stop and start a new video chat. But and visual, people are just drawn to visual images, and especially ones that move, and so that's point number 2 is video. And I'm going to say this, it's the live is definitely better than the pre-recorded, and here's why. Because Facebook has something like 150,000 algorithms, to determine who sees what. And so think of your news feed like a newspaper. It's going to have articles no matter what. And so you want to have your articles being, put out there. And also there's only so much room. And so what makes your post or your video stand out so that it's going to get space on that newspaper, and it will go to the people that you want. And just a little bit of a background on that. When Facebook started doing live videos, that was in competition with YouTube, because YouTube is all pre-recorded. And so Facebook Lives are unique, or were unique. And so they have a different algorithm all to themselves, and so they get a higher priority. So that's another reason why you should be doing lives, is that they are going to get more reach on their own just because they are live, as opposed to something that's pre-recorded. And then so with that newspaper analogy, it's so important to be consistent, because if your audience and Facebook knows that, okay, at this time on this day you usually go live, then we're going to make room for you. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then another focus is mobile versus desktop. And if you have a business page, you'll see that, oh, and just so from those who are listening, let me know how many of you have a business page, and versus who are using your personal page. So I'd love to know that. So join in and let me know who has a business page. So with mobile and desktop, if you have a business page, you'll see there's a tab up at the top there on Insights, and you can see your audience. And I was just looking at that yesterday, and I noticed that there's a bar graph, and there's just a little tiny amount of the people that are watching from a desktop versus a huge amount that are watching from a mobile phone. And so when you're making banners and things like that, it's really important to test them on a mobile phone, because there's different dimensions. On a phone, the top and the bottom, the sides get cut off, and on a desktop, the top and the bottom get cut off. So they're slightly different dimensions. So you need to be aware of that when you're creating banners and pictures and things like that. Another focus is chat box. I've experimented with that a bit, and so that's kind of some automation that goes with Messenger. And so you can hook it up to a live on your business page or in a group, and with certain words or things like that, the bot will react and send out messages to your audience. So and there's a lot of security in there too, to stop unwanted posts and things like that. So it's something that might be a little bit advanced, and you might want to wait till you're ready for it. I've kind of played with it a little bit, but it's not my focus right now, so I haven't put a lot of effort into it. And then understanding too how the conversations take place. For instance, it's really big now to hop on a Zoom call or on a StreamYard or something like that, so that you can have a video chat, so you can see the person that you're talking to. And I can remember when this was going to be a thing of the future, and it was very experimental, but now it's so easily available, and it makes such a huge difference, to see the person that you're chatting with. And so it makes it very easy to chat with somebody from another country or a long distance away, and even at holiday time to talk with your family. You can actually see them, and so much better than just the telephone and the voice kind of thing. So knowing that that's coming up is really, really huge. And so just checking my notes here. So one thing that's coming up that's going to be quite exciting, and it's being tested in Ireland right now, and depending on the comments on that, it'll be rolled out to other countries, and that's in Facebook data portability. And so it's the ability to transfer data and photos directly from Facebook to another platform. So for instance, now if you want to save anything that you see on Facebook, you need to download it to your computer or to your phone, and then transfer it to somewhere else. Well, this will be an immediate transfer right from Facebook to other services, and it's going to be encrypted, so that you don't have to worry about any loss of information and that kind of thing. So it's something that's coming up, and I think it'll be great, because just save a couple of steps and transfer things so much more easily. And one other thing I wanted to mention too is comments. To be really aware that you may not see all your comments on live on your phone or on the desktop. You have to go to both, because a lot of people are only seeing about a third of the comments on their phone as opposed to the computer. There's a little drop down arrow, and it'll say like the most relevant or all. And even because most relevant comes up by default, And so the comments that have the most number of words are at the top, and the one-worders are down at the bottom. So the highs and things like that are usually last, and the longer ones come first. And then they still don't all show. So usually on the computer you will see more, but just to be aware of that, because you definitely want to be engaging with every comment that you get. And so you might have to go to the computer, and I find it easier on the computer, because then I have a keyboard to type rather than just my thumbs. But just to be aware of that, that you have different combinations, most relevant, and I like the newest, so you can go back a few days later and see if anybody's, got it on the replay and has got a comment. So, so a couple of predictions. So these are things that social media experts say will be coming in the future. And it's kind of interesting. There'll be a Facebook Pay, so that you can pay directly, to buy things right off of Facebook. Just up and coming. And a Facebook Watch. Now this is interesting because the prediction is that it will take over Netflix. So that's a pretty tall order. I think Netflix is pretty popular, but it's not the same as a watch party, but it will be a Facebook Watch, like watching movies. And then also an incorporation of WhatsApp, Messenger, and Instagram, all kind of put into one. So that's interesting. And also a group video chat. Well, we kind of have that now with Zoom, but this is the predictions. And, more podcasts, more influence coming out surrounding podcasts. So that's it for me today. Just some things to be aware of, and I hope that has been of value to you. And if it has, let me know, and I will be seeing you again on Monday at 9 o'clock Pacific time, and I look forward to seeing you then. And until then, have a wonderful weekend, or whatever part of the day it is for you, and bye for now.